Hi friends, I'm Brianna and welcome back to Brianna's Bookshelf. So I wanted to start a reading vlog today, and this is specifically going to be a vlog of my progress for the Haunted Library Bingo that I am doing alongside Angel from Angel Can't Read and Brooklyn from Brooklyn's Library. So both of their channels will be linked in the description. Please go check them out. We're already a little bit into October. It's currently October 13th today, but I went on vacation for like the whole first week of October, and I'm like just now getting back into the swing of things. And I have actually already completed a few of the bingo prompts that I managed to do like while I was on vacation and after. I just wanted to show y'all the vibe because I just got settled in. It's just after work now. I already ate dinner and I'm settled in to watch Love Island, which is very random, not the vibe, potentially. I need to show y'all the Halloween decor that we're working with right now. So my TV is just going to sleep right now or whatever, doing its monitor thing. But I've got like a little bit of stuff on the TV stand, just a tiny bit, and then I finally have a fireplace, which is so exciting. Excuse this office chair. So I put some fake candles in there because I thought that would look so cute, and I feel like it's kind of giving Hogwarts, even though we don't support J.K. Rowling, but it's giving like so spooky and witchy. I love it. And then up above there's like this pumpkin garland that I crocheted and some like kind of Beetlejuice vibe pumpkins and leaves and stuff. Very cutesy. And then please ignore how dirty this table is right now. There's like stuff everywhere, remotes everywhere. But I have this cute little spider web fabric as a runner, and yeah, like a little spider web dish and glass pumpkin. So that is the decor for right now. Anyhow, I am about to start my craft, so that will fulfill my Make a Spooky Craft bingo slot. And I am going to do some journal decorating. I have my reading journal pulled out and some supplies. I'm not sure how much of the making of it I will film because I'm just not good at that kind of aesthetic stuff, to be honest, but I will show y'all when it's finished what the page looks like. Alright, so when I opened up my reading journal, I realized that I also had not made a spread for September yet. So here's my September spread. It's starting to get a little spooky. It's got like a kind of witchy theme going on. And then for October, I have these like really cute pumpkin stickers that I got from this thrift store, and then some Nightmare Before Christmas stickers and little ghost tape and stuff. I feel like it's pretty cute. I'm happy with it. And yeah, I think that's the extent of the crafting that I will probably do tonight. Hey vlog, I thought it was time to give you some more updates because I have not told you what bingo prompts I've finished so far and what I've read. I've been slacking on vlogging my actual reading, and instead I've just been showing you everything else. So the bingo prompts that I've already filled are Make a Spooky Craft. I did pumpkin painting with my friends for that one, and I will try to remember to put up a picture of the pumpkin I painted. It was really cute, I think, in my opinion. I just like searched up vintage pumpkins on Pinterest and like copied something I saw there, like kind of, and I think it's really cute. Then I completed Read a Book with Any Monster because I read Juniper and Thorn, which is like a fantasy book, but there was monsters in it. And then Read a Horror Book. I completed that with The Staircase in the Woods, so that one is done. Obviously subscribe to myself, that's done. Drink a fall beverage. I have had a pumpkin spice latte, so that is checked off there. Subscribe to Brooklyn, done of course. I have already decorated for fall. And then watch a movie or show with vampires. I watched Twilight to fulfill this, and I've actually also been watching a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so those both count for this prompt. Carve a pumpkin. I did this. Me and my boyfriend carved a pumpkin together, collaborated on one, and I will insert the clip of the pumpkin that we did together. Then listen to a spooky audiobook. I listened to Escaping from Houdini for this, which I think counts because it definitely has like a kind of spooky vibe to it. It's like a historical murder mystery kind of situation. and it's the third book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and unfortunately it was a disappointment, but I'll get more into that later. Subscribe to Angel, of course, that's done already. Watch a Halloween movie. I feel like I pretty much accomplished this. I kind of want to watch one still that's like more Halloween centered, but I've already watched like quite a few spooky movies that would probably count, but yeah, I think I'll try to do something even more themed. Then read a book at night. That is like pretty much what I always read, so that is taken care of. Post a review online. I think I've already posted a couple of reviews this month, so that's taken care of as well. Read outside. When I was on vacation, I read on the beach a little bit, so I have accomplished that. Post your current read. I posted about Salem's Lot, and I'm still currently reading that. Listen to a fall playlist. I have a few different fall playlists, and I have been listening to them a ton, so that one's definitely done. Join a reading sprint. I've done the 2 Haunted Library reading sprints, so that prompt is finished. And then have a fall meal. I feel like I've had so many things that would fit this prompt, but the one I think is most fitting is I made like a sausage, a butternut squash, and sage pasta, which was super duper good. And yeah, I feel like that is definitely a very fall meal. So for the books that I've like read off of my TBR, I have done quite a few. So I read The Staircase in the Woods, that was on my TBR for Haunted Library Bingo, and I really liked that. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was honestly a lot better than I was expecting. I wasn't sure what to think of that one going into it or what it was going to be about, but I really appreciated that it like delved into some deeper topics than I expected. There was a lot of talk on mental health, past trauma, and like the connections in this friend group. And I do feel like Chuck Wendig really took the concept of a staircase in the woods and then like ran with it and created like this whole lore of his own from it. And yeah, I just liked it a lot better than I thought I would. The characters were really great, and I loved their like difficult and complicated interactions with one another. I thought that it was really enjoyable to read about, and they felt like a realistic group of friends. And then I read A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee, and I've had that on my TBR for so long because it's it's a young adult dark academia novel, and pretty much all I knew about it going into it was that it was dark academia and that it was sapphic, and unfortunately I did not like it. It was okay, I guess. I ended up giving it 2.5 stars. I did enjoy my experience reading it for the most part. Like, I was enjoying the atmosphere. I was like having a decent amount of fun while reading, but there was just so much of it that was also kind of irritating me at the same time. Like, they're at a boarding school, of course, and then a new girl joins who is like 17 years old, and she's already like a famous author who has like won all these awards and stuff, and then yet she's going to boarding school, and it's like she's going to boarding school just to help her write her next novel. And that was like already just way too unbelievable for me. Like, that bothered me so much from the very start, and that was like a strong part throughout the whole book. So there was so much of it that I just was like, okay, this is so unbelievable. Like, I just can't take it seriously. And I feel like it was just like there's a lot of things I had issues with that I don't want to get too far into because I don't want to give any spoilers in this vlog. But yeah, it was like an okay reading experience. I'm not like mad that I read the book, but it wasn't that enjoyable. And then I said before that Escaping from Houdini was a letdown, and that is the 3rd installment in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. And I have given 5 stars to the first 2 books. I absolutely love them, and part of what I love so much about it is the characters and Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell and their interactions and their relationship is just so adorable. The books always make me laugh. They're always spooky at the same time. Now, this one was about a carnival that's performing on a ship that's going from the UK to America. So I was like, okay, what is there not to love about a carnival and spookiness and Audrey Rose and Thomas? Like, I love all those things. and it was still managed to be so unenjoyable despite having all of those things. I just honestly couldn't even believe it, how unenjoyable it was, which is so disappointing since I love that series. And yeah, I don't want to be like super negative, but there was a lot of miscommunication, and Audrey and Thomas were not in close contact for a lot of the book, and seeing as their relationship and their banter is basically my favorite part of the series. Having them go extended periods of time not spending time together, and even like being in conflict at times, like was really difficult for me to read. Like, it was not enjoyable. It didn't feel funny at all. There obviously, like, it wasn't a 1-star, it wasn't like the worst thing ever. Some aspects of the carnival were like kind of fun, and of course I still love the characters, but yeah, I just was not really here for this plot. And the like murders felt like they were so one after another that like there was no, like I was not ever in suspense. Like, it was like I knew when another body would turn up right away, so there was no suspense, which is kind of the point. So yeah, that was not a good time, unfortunately. I still do plan to read the last book in the series because I already own it, and I'm really hoping for a redemption of the series or to go back to enjoying it. And then for my TBR for Haunted Library, I still need to finish Salem's Lot, and I actually have Salem's Lot here with me with tabs and a pen because I've been annotating a lot to prepare for our live discussion. So I need to finish this one. And then also my TBR was Jawbone and Junji Ito's like Frankenstein adaptation. I definitely won't be finishing those by our live show, but I'm going to try to get to those before the end of the month. Thanks for listening to my updates. Hi vlog. I have the day off today. Excuse this weird piece of hair, I can't get it to cooperate. But I have a day of book shopping planned. I feel like it's been a while since I've gone book shopping, and I'm super duper excited. I'm planning to stop by the library because I have Frankenstein by Junji Ito on hold there, and I'm hoping to read that before the end of Haunted Library Bingo to include that as my graphic novel read. And then I am planning to go to Half Price Books because I just haven't been there in forever, and I really want to look for some classics potentially that I could get into this winter. I've been kind of in the mood to try some, or at least pick some up just to have them on hand for when I'm in the mood. So gonna look and see what they have there. And then also I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble because there are a lot of new releases that I've been highly anticipating this fall. And I'm really mostly wanting to pick up Calabasas, We Love You Bunny, and maybe Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'm not 100% on that one yet. I'm definitely interested, but that one I might wait for a paperback. We'll see like what the prices are like, if there's any sales at Barnes & Noble, or if I just get in the shopping mood and just start spending money. We'll see, I guess. Here's a little fit check before I go out because it's raining a lot, so I'm gonna have to put on a jacket. But I've got this cute little plaid shirt on with my red necklace, and I'm gonna put on some boots and a coat, and I will update you all with what I buy. Alright, I just arrived to my first stop, which is Barnes & Noble. But before I go in, I wanted to tell you guys a little story about the perfume I'm wearing today. This is so random. But today I am wearing the Donna Born & Roma Extra Dose, which is like one of the newer Donna Born & Roma flankers by Valentino. And I have like never really smelled any of them and don't own any of them. But I recently made a Sephora order, and it was like you could get one of the little minis as a points edition. So I got that like as my little freebie. And I already created a very strange scent connection with it, even though today is only my second time wearing it. So the first day I wore it, I put it on while I was watching Saw for the first time, because last week like on TikTok I swear everyone was doing like Amanda Young
in the reverse bear trap cosplays on TikTok, and like it seemed like everyone on TikTok was making the reverse bear trap like out of foam and stuff, and I got so sucked into that randomly, and I had literally never seen Saw before that, which is wild because I love scary movies, but it convinced me to finally watch it. And yeah, I was like opening up my Sephora order while I was watching it and put on this perfume, and now like as soon as I put it on today, it reminded me of Saw and the scene of Amanda Young in the reverse bear trap, and I'm just like, what a weird scent memory to make with this perfume. Yeah, that's an odd one, but I don't really mind, I guess. Time to go book shopping. Finished with my shopping at Barnes & Noble and Half Price Books. I didn't really film much inside of Half Price Books. No, I didn't. That's a lie. I didn't film at all inside of Half Price Books because honestly I'm starting to get hungry and it's making me feel a little bit grumpy, and I just didn't want to. So now I'm gonna see what I can do for lunch and to probably go back home and maybe read. So I stopped to go to the grocery store on my way home and also buy like hot food from the grocery store bar for lunch. So that was what I was gonna have, and it literally started pouring rain while I was in there. You can see it's like literally dripping off of me. Here's my view. It's gonna be a rainy ride home. Here's the haul of everything that I got at Barnes & Noble and Half Price Books, plus Frankenstein on the side that I got from the library. I'm not going to discuss these too much because I'll probably do a haul at some point, but yeah, this is what I picked up. Hey vlog. So I finally finished Salem's Lot this morning, just in the nick of time because today was the live discussion of Salem's Lot with Angel and Brooklyn, and I just got off of that a little bit ago. And it was super fun talking about all of our thoughts. So if you're curious to hear an in-depth discussion, please go to Angel's channel and check out our live discussion that we did. But I wanted to give you all a little bit of my thoughts as well. So this was a reread for me, and I had a lot of fun buddy reading it with Angel and Brooklyn. It was definitely different to read it the second time around than it was the first time. And I had, I would say, a better experience. The first time I read this, I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed it, but nothing crazy. This time, I am like wavering between a 3.5 or a 4 star. Maybe I'll be crazy and do a 3.75, but I definitely enjoyed it more on the second read. I feel like I picked up so much more, noticed so many little things, so much like foreshadowing. I was really able to comprehend a lot more because in this book, Stephen King does go on a lot of tangents about all the different people in the town, and the first time around that really lost me. There was a lot that I just like couldn't really follow when we were following so many different characters, but this time around it was a lot easier for me to keep track of who is who and actually appreciate what the addition of all those different characters did for the story. And I actually really like that aspect about it because I think that it creates this whole character of the town itself and like everyone in the town as this one entity, one community, and really makes them the center of the events that unfold in the town rather than having only just one main character. Obviously we do have some main characters in this book, but the things that are happening are very much happening to the whole town, and I think that's a really interesting concept that I haven't really read in any other books. So I will go a little bit into spoilers and some of my thoughts. As you can see, I did a lot of tabbing in this book. I'll put a timestamp on the screen for when you can fast forward to if you don't want to hear any spoilers. So spoilers incoming. If you don't want to hear them, fast forward to the time on the screen. So right off the bat, this is
a vampire book. And I feel like most people probably know that going into it because it's just such an old book. This was, I believe, Stephen King's second novel, so it's been around for a while, and there's like 2 different movie adaptations and I think a show as well. So I feel like people probably already know what this is about, and I think that it does a really interesting job of the vampire aspects. I'm just gonna find some of my favorite parts for you of like I think they really start foreshadowing that right from the beginning, which is really interesting. Like we get this scene where they're just describing the cemetery at night and how a man who like we don't know who it is goes in the cemetery and has this kind of like monologue. He says it's very creepy and kind of like biblically evil kind of vibes. And then it says that he had a child with him and that he was like sacrificing the child basically. So right off the bat you're like, okay, there's some like evil creatures or entities like humanoids. And then obviously the Marston house is a very big part of this book. So that's like the house on the cover. It's like this house that is looming over the town, and it had previous tragedies that took place there. The former owner like killed his wife and then hung himself. And yeah, it's like the way it's set up at the beginning almost makes you think it's going to be a haunted house story, but then we quickly get the news that new people have bought this house, and then it pivots into what are the mysteries surrounding these new people. So this house kind of has just like an evil history, and that is continuing with its new owners. And it's 2 men, and one of them is opening an antique shop. And so an example of how Stephen King like wrote the town to be this like spooky character in its own. It says, a part I underlined, a person from out of town could drive through the lot and not know a thing was wrong. But who knows what's going on in houses behind drawn shades. People could be lying in their beds or propped in closets like brooms, down in cellars, waiting for the sun to go down. And each sunrise, less people out in the streets, less every day. So yeah, basically everyone in the town is like slowly turning into vampires, and it's very creepy. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good. I definitely enjoyed it more on this read, so had a really fun time with that. On to the Haunted Library Bingo progress. I have, I think, 3 more prompts to fill, and that would be listen to a spooky podcast, play a spooky game, and read a spooky graphic novel. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for the game or the podcast yet, but I have picked up my hold for Frankenstein, the Junji Ito adaptation, or his version. I don't know like how closely aligned it is to the original Frankenstein, but I'm very excited to get into this. So this is what I'm going to be working on reading for this week. Maybe I'll get to something else, but we'll see. It might just be this one. I'm very excited. Hey vlog. It is at the end of the month, and I have just finished Junji Ito's Frankenstein story collection today. So that means I have completed all of the prompts on the bingo board, which I'm super excited about. That was my goal, but I wasn't sure if I was going to get to all of it. For a spooky podcast, I ended up listening to an episode of Morbid. And then for play a spooky game, I played a little bit of Nightmare in the Woods, which is one I played before, which is really fun. And thank you everyone for watching. Please go check out Angel and Brooklyn's channels down below. Happy Halloween, and see y'all later.